Regina and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, we are going to talk about the different precautionary and preventative measures against the common threats that we encounter around us. So I made a poll from Twitter to identify the 4 major common threats that we encounter each day. So first of all, mugging. Second, sexually motivated attacks. Third, domestic violence. And fourth, intrusion of personal space. So without further ado, let's start. First of all, mugging. So it is an assault or threat with violence upon a person, especially with an intent to rob. Basically, it is a matter of give me your things while threatening you with violence. So here are the tips on how to deal when you encounter threats such as mugging. First of all, do not carry anything you really cannot afford to lose. If you happen to go off from your home, just have a minimum cash or leave the flashy jewelry at home. For instance, in Manila, there's a lot of muggers there, so you should be really careful and aware of your surroundings. Wallets and handbags are particularly vulnerable, so leave them at home. Second tip, being streetwise. It is easier to avoid being mugged if you know your territory. Be mindful of your environment because muggers are usually opportunistic when they targeted a vulnerable or a soft-touch one. If you happen to carry money and valuables, always remember to stick to recognized routes or have someone always with you. Second, sexually motivated attacks. It is very important that we women are prepared to defend ourselves from this kind of persons. Rapists themselves are confined to no social class and no economic bracket. All they have in common is total lack of respect for their fellow human beings. That's why rule number 1, we should be prepared all the time. Prevention is better than physical conflict. So as a woman, it is very important that we have a whistle or pepper spray with us. It can be a small thing but it can save lives. Use whistle to somebody to hear you and use pepper spray to defend yourself from a rapist. Second, fight or flight. A determined rapist has to be fought with total commitment. The best you can do is play for a little time for a diversionary tactic to give yourself a better opportunity of fleeing or better opening for effective disabling strike. We women should not be taught on how to dress properly. It should be taught to a man to give proper respect to a woman. If you feel uneasy about someone, that they are not quite being right, then obey your intuition and get away before a threatening situation can develop. Third, domestic violence. If you are a victim of domestic violence, the appropriate level of response depends on a number of factors. In the first instance, of course, you should try to diffuse the anger or else do your best to defend yourselves. Use defensive blocks and cover up against kicks to the head or kidneys if you are on the floor. The previous history of the relationship will govern the level of any fight back. So one preventive measure from this kind of violence is to know its root cause or the reason for their attacks. One example is social jealousy. Whether the jealousy is justified or not, money troubles drive many people to despair and mindless lashing out. And alcohol is the trigger for domestic violence in a large proportion cases. One thing you could do is to go for legal measures or ask for an advice for third parties. If you consider that your violent partner is threatening you and your children with serious injury, it is possible to obtain emergency legal aid through a lawyer, or if you happen to be a third party, never takes anyone's side or be biased with your judgment. Also, don't take any chances. Separate the couple, take them to different rooms if possible, and talk to them without allowing to blame. Last but not the least, intrusion of personal space. As individuals, we all have invisible area of personal space around us. If someone intrudes on this, we feel uneasy. The degree of the individual space differs as per who is doing the infringing and the conditions we are in. How we regard others' very own space and how we react when they infringe on our space is at the heart of a successful self-defense. In dealing with it, generally, we should always maintain a space with everyone else. For example, if you are in an empty elevator and somebody else gets in, you move, maybe only a half space but enough to give you both a personal space. Summing it up, no matter what gender we have, we should always be brave enough to defend ourselves from threats and risks that we may encounter each day of our lives. Being ignorant is not an excuse. It is better that we have something that can help to protect our lives and the lives of many people. As they always say, iba ang may alam. I hope you've learned something from my video, and if you haven't yet subscribed in my YouTube channel, just click the button down below for you to be updated for my latest videos. That's it for today, and I hope you had fun watching. See you in my next vlog!